All right, we're all done. We'll get to Drew on video in a second here. He just changed wardrobes. But we didn't get to talk about this in the two podcasts, but I don't know if you could see my face. I got hit in the nose on last night playing hockey. In bloody nose, bruises all over the place. Drew, I can't believe I didn't get to ask you this during the shows. This is going to come out after Game 1, but Florida Panthers, Sam Reinhart, and Las Vegas' Jack Eichel in the Stanley Cup final.
I feel like it's impossible not to have more fuck you energy to Jack Eichel than anyone else.
Who do you want to win the Stanley Cup?
It's hard. Because on one hand, Sunrise, Florida, most people don't even know where it is.
I've been. It's in the middle of nowhere.
The Florida Panthers don't have a fan base.
No. They have a fan base when they're good.
It's going to be one of those things where the Panthers win the cup, and it's going to be buried on like page 3 of most major Florida newspapers.
Can I tell you why I like Eichel? I want Eichel to win.
It's going to make me sick, but sure.
For that reason. The amount of people on Twitter that are going to be hate tweeting Eichel. Give me Jack Eichel for the Stanley Cup. A little bit of, he's in a clearly better situation, and you know what it is? Is he came here as the savior. We were looking for him to be...
What, to make up for shitty coaching?
No, to be...
Poor front office decisions?
He was supposed to be the guy on the ice to lead the team. He was supposed to be the man. But look at these people here. Marcia Show, Petrolangelo, Jonathan Quick, Mark Stone, Hot Dog Phil Kessel, Barbashev, guys that have won before, guys that are veterans. So any time he puts up, like Jack Eichel does his, oh, I'm amazing, these guys go, the fuck you are. And so does the head coach, Bruce Cassidy, veteran coach. He's already put him in his place. I think that's what was missing here. He didn't have that veteran leadership that could just go, hey, kid, shut the fuck up and get to work.
Now, I'll say this, counterpoint. Look, not even counterpoint. I guess it kind of runs along a similar line, but it's you look at NHL teams that have banked on that number 1 pick, or said, "Hey, we got a guy number 2 we think is a franchise-changing entity." Look at McDavid. Easily, if you were just talking pound for pound, individual in a vacuum, the best hockey player in the NHL right now.
As McDavid by a mile.
Doesn't fucking matter because his team doesn't even make it to a finals. Ever.
I think
he's older. He is older than Eichel. And he's not getting younger. And that team has spent a lot of money and a lot of time. And they can't figure out how to put a winning combination around him, because what you're finding out is that when you are garbage enough to get the number 1 pick, you have a window where you can rapidly build a competent franchise around that player, but if you don't, you will fail. You will miss your window, and when you miss your window, it's bad, right? The
Oilers have, I think, 2 more years of it, because in 2 years, Draisaitl's 8.25 should be bumped up to what McDavid is.
Well, and the funny thing is, people think the Bills' window is closing for the same exact reasons that I'm talking about Edmonton's window closing. But before I talk about that, I first want to say this. Oh, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, never knew how much the muddy water meant to me. 'Cause I learned how to swim and I learned who I was. A lot about living and a little about love. Hell yeah, this shirt rules. Chris, I'm going to get so drunk this week I'm wearing the shirt. It's, for being an extra large, it is the smallest extra large. Like, this is like a sports bra on me. Like, it's brutal.
I have a hoodie from a local Louisville band that I got, and my mom bought it for me for Christmas. And
Check that out, guys. Hell yeah!
Yeah,
get you some.
They all see it. My mom bought me a hoodie for a local band that I really liked for Christmas, and I didn't get it. And she was like, "Well, I bought the hoodie." And it's like my mom paid but didn't fill out any information of like where to send it. So I hit up one of the guys in the band who does all the merch, and I don't know why I had asked for a XL hoodie. Smallest hoodie I've ever owned. It's an XL, and like as far as length, it doesn't. I still have it. I'll wear it to like hockey in the winter. Does not go below my belt line.
It's a hoodie.
And it's an XL. It's an XL hoodie. And it doesn't, the length is way off and does not go below my belt line.
You know who I blame for that?
China. Which is what you're wearing.
Which is no, folks, for those of you who missed the podcast this week, if you did, shame on you. This shirt was bestowed upon me in the middle of a podcast. It ended up in our hands completely by accident because Chinese manufacturing and shipping and where things come from and how logistics works.
Yeah, Jessica, we have these cool lights on the fence. I mean, you see them? The ones on the fence outside. So,
well, it's funny when I fell into the box of chicken wire and then climbed the fence only to find out that it was unlocked.
There's
which
no
we
lock
talked about
on
in
the
our
gate.
previous podcast. There's no lock on that gate. I'm an idiot. The one thing, like the one saving grace, like literally, I landed on the concrete as my shoulder hit the ground, and I'm rolling around going, "Damn it!" I just felt, "Ooh, that fence is nice. Those lights look." Chris, I drunkenly took a picture of it.
Yeah, so Jess bought those lights $1 from China on sale, and I said, "Well, get more so I can put on the rest of the fence so it looks better." Jumped up to $3
per light.
Yeah, so we just got those in the mail the other day, and Jessica opened the box tonight, and this fucking China XL shirt that Drew's wearing showed up. And it's like, I'm not wearing it.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's Alan Jackson in an inner tube, and it just says, "Hotter than Hoochie Coochie."
What was the other thing that we got that we didn't pay for?
Some grabbers. Like they're whether it's drain grabbers or whatever.
Yeah.
I like those.
Those will come in handy.
So the Bills window is apparently closing because we can't put enough talent around Josh Allen to win. How much of this is Josh Allen's fault?
None of it. Josh Allen's an attraction.
Sure.
He should be able to get free agents.
Sure, but what I'm saying
women
is,
on his own accord.
When you see the whole Haley Steinfeld thing is just out of control. The Revenge of the Nerds. We all just need to stop doing this. Jocks and dorks can't be fighting each other forever. But Chris, here's what I'll say. When I say about is it his fault? When you have your best, if Josh Allen's the best player on the Buffalo Bills, Stephon Diggs is probably number 2 or 3, arguably, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's maybe Milano, maybe him, maybe Poyer, I don't know. But Diggs is fucking great. And those two are screaming at each other, and well, not screaming at each other. Diggs is yelling at him on the sidelines at the end of a embarrassing playoff loss. Whose fault is it, Chris? Not taking the easy stuff, not checking down, running easy plays. I mean, we heard it from the Bengals wide receivers. They were like, "Oh, playing in the snow, yeah, we knew we just had to come up with a simplistic offense and just execute." Meanwhile, the Bills are trying to dial up deep crosses and crazy shit downfield, highlight reel. It's like, no, that's not how you win this football game. But whose fault is that? Is it the coordinator? Is it the quarterback not taking what the defense is giving them? I don't know. What I do know is that we are flirting with the same thing that the Edmonton Oilers are. You have one of the best guys in the entire sport on your roster, yet you're continuing to fail to win with him on your roster, and he's not getting any younger. Now, do I think it's as close as some of the assholes over at ESPN or some of the other punditry outlets do? I don't know. I just know that I think about this and I say to myself, he's got some culpability in this too, right? Like, he's not just some babe in the woods out here going, whoop, I didn't win, and we didn't win because of... There's enough of these games where you don't win and you look at the quarterback and you go, I want to know what was going on in your head the day that this went on. I just want to know. Now, we never will, but I do believe that, like, we will be competitive as long as he's on the roster. With that said, we won't have the same configuration of players. This might be the most talented the Bills, like when Von Miller makes his return. This right now might be the most talented the Bills have been with Josh Allen.
Yes.
You can subtract Tremaine Edmonds, and people will argue, you know, that obviously Tremaine Edmonds had, like, he was a hyper... He was a very, what do you call that? Call in if you know the word for a player who, or an idea that's inflammatory towards both sides. I don't know. I'm not gonna dwell on it. You have a player like him who he's loved, he's hated. It's very touch and go. What I know is you can survive. We talked about this in our last podcast. You can survive without great linebacker play. If that's the guy you lost, and then you look at the rest of the defense and go, oh, wait, our young corners are going to get better? Oh, Trey White might play like all-pro Trey White? What are we worried about then? This team could be the most talented team that they've had with Josh Allen at quarterback once Von Miller takes the field again. You have to make a statement this year then. Show me that you're making progress towards this thing and not just treading water. I don't know. Now, we talked about punditry. How about Shannon Sharpe?
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that.
Let's talk about this since we love media. Since you're a media nerd, that's right up your alley.
This is right up my asshole. Holy shit.
He could have said alley.
I can't.
Hoochie cooch.
I'm not surprised that he's gone because since the DeMar Hamlin thing, another Buffalo tie-in, Sharpe was unhappy. And to be able to, like, that probably takes a lot to work towards a buyout with Fox over all that shit. I mean, who would you replace on that show? Because Skip's still going to do the show. He's got his contract.
Let me say this. So Shannon Sharpe has made headlines just by liking tweets on social media.
Subtweeting.
Well, no, but this is how passive-aggressive our society has become. Now, I will be upfront with all of you. If you listen to our shows this week,
if you look at yourself right now, we know you're not passive-aggressive.
Oh, way down yonder on that Chattahoochee. So Shannon Sharpe goes out there, right? And he goes through Twitter and he's liking tweets like this one that says their relationship got progressively worse over the last 2, maybe 3 years because Skip fought for him to be on that show. But I feel like Skip couldn't stand Shannon succeeding without, and that's when Skip was taking pot shots on air. He also liked one that said, Shannon Sharpe has outgrown Skip Bayless. He's far superior. He has a wonderfully bright future ahead. Bayless, meanwhile, won't find another partner. His career will nosedive because he's a piece of shit. Like, that's the tweet, and Shannon Sharpe liked it, and everyone went, oh! Because he didn't have to say anything, right? Someone else was his mouthpiece.
Yeah.
I hate social media. I firmly believe that if I have to motherfuck you, I'm going to do it on your doorstep to you because I want you to know. I want you to know that that's how I feel. I want you to see me, understand my emotions, understand that I'm a human being who's just here. If you have something to say in response, I'm here for it. Let's go. I'm trying to reach out to you. This is all like, Chris, I'm like 2 steps away from Gran Torinoing out and just I feel no connection to society at large anymore. Just based on the way a lot of this stuff runs. The subtweeting and this person liked that tweet and it's major news. What the fuck are we talking about? You don't like that guy, you go tell him you don't like him. Go fight him in the parking lot. Guess what? It won't matter. Like, how did we get here, Chris? From an FS1 perspective, how did they thought they put the Dream Show together.
Yeah, they were trying to counter what was Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, and it seems like that's transitioned into Stephen A. Smith and guests, with the best guest being former WFAN host Chris Russo when he comes in like once a week, which I think Russo gets paid like $10,000 for his 1 2-hour episode every week.
Are you shitting me?
It's like 10 or $15,000.
$10,000 for one appearance?
Per appearance. So that's, for a month, that's like $40,000 to $45,000 a month just for one appearance for 2 hours a week. Now, there's more hours, production meetings and shit like that. I'm not going to be surprised of FS1 taking the same approach with this and doing a skip and a round table each day. Look at this. I have for you right here. Here's all of Fox Sports personalities. Can you imagine Monday, like a Monday morning quarterback type of show during... Mm-hmm. It's Skip Bayless and Jeff Schwartz.
No, because Jeff Schwartz would just be like, hey, I know football, and you don't. Shut up. Jeff Schwartz is insufferable on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would listen to him live.
Or do Mondays with Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira.
I'm not going to lie.
About that.
I would do a Monday with Dean Blandino.
Yeah. Or Peter Schrager. There's so many different options that they can go. I can't wait to find out what they do to replace Shannon Sharpe.
How is Jay Glazer not getting more hype on this network than...
He is. He's on Cowherd and just during games. During the season.
But he's a personality who does pop-ins.
Yeah, he doesn't get a whole lot of run in the off season on shows.
He might be the only person I like out of everybody here. Everyone else, like if there was a house fire and they all burned up in it except for that guy, I'd be like, well, thoughts and prayers.
I bet if he gets if there's a permanent co-host for Skip, it'll be somebody involved with basketball. Which they have on their roster, Jim Jackson or Steve Lavin. Dude. That show is going to be a shit show.
Everything is. Because can we admit something here, Chris, that like the era of
hopefully we're on the...
Hang on, whoa. Because you're a radio guy.
It's called Embrace Debate.
But you're a radio guy. So you remember, just like I do, the shock jock era of radio.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just telling you off air, like the O&A show was one of my favorite things to listen to.
Yeah.
And it's still to this day, I will go on YouTube and I will look up old shows of O&A and I will I'll spin back the hits. I'll go down rabbit holes for hours listening to O&A. Jim Norton, Opie, Anthony Cumia on a microphone, just with a ton of, because Jim Norton was there, a ton of comedians who, Chris, are killers. Bobby Kelly, Rich Voss. So some of the funniest human beings alive on that show, just talking shit, being vile to each other. But also, it was shock jock radio. right? Like, that was their thing. They were like, hey, listen, we're going to bring up funny stories, and we're going to laugh about things that are inappropriate. We're going to have pests. We're going to cultivate a fan base that goes and bothers other shows, that gets national attention, that drives people back to us. It was shock jock radio, and that was like kind of the impetus of all this. It predates the debate shows on ESPN.
Yeah.
ESPN's thing was just a spin-off of that. Who was the guy who created it, Chris? You know the name. I remember you saying
God, it's going to come to me.
So
shit, I'll look it up.
It was the idea of, like, he's the pioneer of the debate show, because he's like, this will grab people. It'll get their attention. Everyone likes conflict.
Jamie Horowitz.
Okay, Jamie Horowitz.
He's the whole reason for First Take, Undisputed, any debate show. It's on Jamie Horowitz.
So he opened Pandora's box and created this thing. And the reality is that it's not new. And in fact, it's probably dying, because the problem is now you don't have to go to major media outlets to get your shock jockery. What you could do is you could come to a Drunken Football podcast with the dude wearing an Alan Jackson cutoff, and you could get hot takes, and you can hear inflammatory things that make you laugh. Or somebody's going to say something inappropriate that might make you laugh.
Let me ask you this.
You'll get that.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a photo of Jamie Horowitz?
No. Oh, no. Don't do this to me.
There it is.
Oh, no.
That's the guy that's...
Hang on. Whoa. He looks like Mark Zuckerberg's slightly more successful brother. Like, he's the cool brother who maybe didn't make as many millions, but also, like, made out with some girls in high school that Mark Zuckerberg didn't get to.
Yeah, that's Jamie Horowitz. He's responsible for all Embrace debate shows, ESPN and FS1.
Now, Chris, let's get down to brass tacks, talk about the thing at hand. This Chinese shirt.
Yeah.
How many washes do I have out of this thing before this applique?
0.
Because we can say it's a very cheap applique, correct?
0. You're going to have to wash it and then hang dry it. Even then, that might shrink it.
Washing it cold. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's literally like, you can see this. This is an extra large. I'm wearing
right
it
up
like,
against your titties.
I'm wearing it like a sports bra, and yet it's super comfortable. It's very light. I will definitely be wearing it this weekend. It's supposed to be hot out. I'm going to a lake house. I'm also going to be wearing my Chubbies. They call them the Grand Finales. It's a pair of short shorts that are tearaways with a American flag Speedo with an angry bald eagle on the ass. Like, that's how you debate. Chris, I feel like we do these shows, and a lot of it is just, what can we talk about that might annoy someone? What are we interested in? It's not even so much about the listeners anymore, is it? This is us.
No.
This is for us.
Yeah.
This is one for me. Well, if that's the case, then all I want to leave you with is this. Well, way down yonder on a Chattahoochee, never knew how much the muddy water meant to me. 'Cause I learned how to swim and I learned who I was. A lot about living and a little about love.